Hello and welcome back to Deauveau with me, BonBonB. I'm BonBonB, you're very, very welcome. So, what's happened to Deauveau? I know a lot of you people have been asking me this. I have commented into the comments the explanation, but for those of you that haven't had a chance to read it, or are just basically wondering, I figured it was worth a short show on its own to explain what's going on, given that, yet again, I still haven't got an update for you. But what you see down below is the current save. It isn't broken, it is live and working. So we can come back to it as soon as time allows. So why haven't I done an update? Well, let me give you a little bit of BonBon background. First of all, I work 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday, and that is for 50 consecutive weeks of the year. Yes, that's right, you didn't hear me wrong. I don't take a holiday until the 2 weeks over Christmas, and then it's back on the gravy train for a full year again. Now, some of you say, well, why don't you take a holiday? I wish life would allow me to do so. Unfortunately, times are very hard, and I basically have to work. I have to work, I cannot take a break. Hopefully at some point YouTube will become my full-time career, which will allow me obviously more time to record because I won't have to work Monday to Saturday full-time, and that will just basically free me up a whole lot of time and will enable me hopefully at some point to take holidays, but that's not now. That is not as things are. So that's the important thing, the paying of the rent and the eating of the food, that kind of thing, Monday to Saturday. Which means for recording, I have all day Sundays, and but not every Sunday, because sometimes Sundays I have to work also. But it is an occasional Sunday that I have to work, wholesaler trips and such. And then Monday to Saturday I have evenings. And those evenings, that's when I make my What maps. When I say evenings, usually Monday, Saturday. Occasionally I have to lose an evening because life, okay? Because life steps in. But most evenings I'm sat here recording What maps. Typical What map can take anything between just under 2 hours, because I'm getting very slick at it now, up to 4 hours on a really complex map. So an evening can be spent entirely on a What map, or I can do most of a What map and maybe have a little bit of free time for something else, which is maybe a bit of Deauveau. So that's that. So you go, so you've got a little bit of free time in the evenings then occasionally, BonBon, yeah? Yeah, and that's when I did Deauveau's. Except for at the start of the month. Because at the start of the month, lots of other things happen, such as the Steam monthly map chart show, which doesn't take very long to make, probably an hour and a half to 2 hours in total. So that's my Deauveau time in one evening gone. Then you've got the Viewer's Choice Top 10, which is probably 2 to 3 hours. And that then is another evening tagged on to the end of a What map. It's just gone. And then the big one, which is City Edition, which I record a full session, the full month's worth of footage for City Edition, and I do that in, well, usually 2, sometimes 3 evenings, because obviously there's a lot of planning involved. I have to have a look around, try and find the interesting areas to look at, and then obviously hopefully record in one take. Not often in one take, but do a record and basically find something interesting to talk about. So, and that takes, say, 2 or 3 nights, and usually 2 or 3 nights without a What map. So when you put all of that together, at the start of the month I lose a full week of recording, maybe a tad more. What map then squeezes in, I just go frantic, trying just to get a What map out for the following morning until I can catch up with my schedule again. So the start of the month is not good for me. Then there's something that I can't talk about, which seems a bit ironic that I'm talking about it on on a YouTube channel. Something I can't talk about. Some of you may know or think you know, and probably guessed, and probably correctly guessed. Okay, you probably, yeah, if you think you know, then you're right. That is what is happening. Unfortunately, it's something I have to keep tight-lipped on until I can talk about it. Does that make sense? Yeah, of course it makes sense. It's just kind of a big secret until the secret is released officially, although it's a secret in like common knowledge, probably to some of you. Anyway, yes. Now that's been going on for about we've had 2 months of working on that now, and unfortunately, due to 2 completely separate reasons, despite spending many hours on it, this last month alone I spent 14 hours, and it is YouTube related. I spent 14 hours alone on it this particular month. 14 hours which could have been spent on Deauveau or tutorials or something else, has been spent on another project which hasn't come to fruition, which is very frustrating for me. Now, it's just one of those things. It's just one of the things. I'm not bitter or sad or cross or angry. I'm disappointed. I am disappointed because if you spend 14 hours on a project in a month and nothing really comes of it, you kind of question, oh, why did I do this? Well, I know why I did it, and I would do it again, and I will do it again this upcoming month yet again, trying to perfect the project in question that I can't talk about. So yes, and so that's another 14 hours. That's easily 3 or 4 nights worth of solid work, where I can't do any even WhatsApp during that time, because 4 hours is an evening, and an evening of intense work actually is on that project. So basically, yeah, that's why there hasn't been a Deauveau of late. It is going to return. Hopefully it's going to return next week. Hopefully, all things being well. I've got other things I want to do as well. I mean, my commercial head tells me I should be making tutorials, because if you look at my look at the views that Deauveau gets and compare it to those of a standard tutorial, I get an awful lot more views from tutorials, and of course, views equals revenue, and this is somebody who can't afford to take a holiday, so revenue is important to me. But also the creative juices are important to me, and ideally I would love for this to be getting the sort of views that my top tutorials get, but that's not the case. You know, clearly it's not the case. Can't really do much about it. Can't make people watch this stuff, you know. By the way, if you use ad blockers, I hate you. I hate you. But here's a good point, of course, to give you an opportunity to jump over to Patreon and support me for just $1 a month. That would be a great help. Thank you so much to all of those that already do. But yes, there is also something new coming along very soon as well with regard to Deauveau that might interest those of you that really do like the city build. But yes, hopefully Friday next week will be a creative Deauveau. I am looking forward to getting my teeth back into it. I do know what I want to work on next. I should show you, shouldn't I? I should show you I'll be working next time. I'm going to do that now, because you've been looking at this stationary image for so long. I may as well treat you to a little preview. Right, we come back up here, spin it up here. So yes, what we've got here is an expansion to the residential into this area here, which will basically be more of what you see here. So why I'm not too excited about rushing into it, because it's going to be more of this going up into this area here. This side of this road here we'll expand into at a later time, but this area is going to be slightly posher, slightly more wealthier houses. Not super wealthy houses. The houses I've chosen are, I've got them over here somewhere. Yes, on my little pallets. Where are we? Have I got them? I haven't got them. Oh no, is that them down the end there? Yes, there we go. So these ones here The garbage is causing such pollution as well. So these are going to be the style of houses that we're going to be having up in that neighbourhood up there. And yes, the pollution's because obviously these aren't even part of the city. This is like my eyedropper area. Right, so oh look, pollution, killing my trees. I must have a mod switched off. Never mind. Okay. Anyway, so that's so we're going to expand into there in the next show. Probably won't fill it out completely, but we're going to expand out into there. And down here, this roundabout here, which I have taken away all of the crosswalks that were annoying me and some of you as well. We're going to connect this road here up to this roundabout. This is going to be the main route down into the harbour city area once we get into the harbour city area. These temporary dropped police station, fire station, medic and cemetery, crematorium, they are going to be moved, and at least one of them will go into this area over here. I'm going to try not to demolish too many trees because I feel the trees are a really good way of marking out the areas that we want to work into. So yes, what we'll do is we're going to expand this housing estate here just a little bit down to about this kind of size here. Just make it a little bit larger, give it a bit more shape. And then into this area here, we're going to be doing some non-residential, non-commercial build. I'm not going to tell you exactly because I don't want to spoil it too much in advance. But those are the two areas we'll be expanding into next week. All things being well next week. But yes, I have plans. I know what I want to do with the thing. I just don't have the time. I haven't had the time recently to be able to do it. So I'll get this camera settled down into a good location. And there we go. Right, well, thank you very much for bearing with me, for watching, for commenting, for liking, subscribing, for supporting, and for hitting the like button. You are lovely, lovely people. I'm going to go now because I have things to record that aren't Deauveau spoilers. And yeah, I should crack on and do those really, because you're going to be saying, well, why haven't I had one of those? And the answer is I was recording this. Oops. Thanks for watching. I've been BonBonB. You've been very, very welcome.
So I guess we should do some cinematics now and say thank you very much for watching, for commenting, for liking and for subscribing, and to everybody with me live on the premiere. Thank you so much. I really do enjoy our little chat in the chat box every single week. You guys are the best of the best. The rest of you are just the best, but they are the best of the best. Right, anyway, that's it. I am going to tootle now. We'll see you tomorrow for What's Map. We have got one from a well-known creator tomorrow, one that if you're a regular to What's Map, you will already know the name. And then more Deauveau next week. Don't miss it. Thanks for watching. I've been BonBonB, and you've been very, very welcome.